How many years have you been in media?
So this is my 20th year.
Did Ameyaw Debrah as a brand eventually become profitable enough for you to say, yes, I made a great decision?
I'm earning.
How does a young person go from content to actually turning it into business? Like, what will be your blueprint for it?
Well, so I think now,
these are the honest conversations that creators need to have. A lot of the time, you have people who create content in the name of either you're an influencer or you are a musician. They have the popularity, but the business sense is not switched on early enough.
sometimes you go somewhere, people who follow you are like, I haven't seen you. Nowadays you don't post. I'm like, I post every day. The thing is I'm doing it, but they don't see it. And I blame it on the platform.
You blame it on the platform, but you don't blame the fact that maybe you might need to adapt the way you create your content to suit
Not
the
so
new
much.
audience. No? 20 years being a blogger and an influencer. Is that a path that pays enough for young people to do it as well? Well, who's my guest today? The legend influencer, the blogger, the first to actually do a lot of the things we are seeing today. What are we going to talk about? A few things, which is why I want you to stick around. On the 9th of September, Konnected Minds Live is going to Osei Kumasi. It's happening at the Great Hall, KNUST. But you need to reserve a seat. It's so limited, and the details are in the description. If you're not already in our tribe community as an entrepreneur, the link is in the description. You can do that now for us and be part of our weekly conversations that we have on our community platform. Learn tech, start a business, migrate, or wait for the government to give you a job. This is our discussion today. So if you make it to the end, I'd really love to know. How are you doing, Senior?
Very well, Derrick. Thanks for having me here.
I bet you never thought I'd be doing this.
I know, right? But I mean, watching the growth and you've been that fire guy, you know.
Yeah.
Once you want to do something, you put your mind to it and you make it work. So once it started, I knew it to get where it has gotten to.
Yeah, I think you're probably one of the few people that knew I was doing music, right?
Yeah, back in the day.
But you never said it. You never said anything on the internet. Yeah. Okay. You finished senior high. And then from senior high, where did you go to?
So from senior high, I went to KNUST, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So that was when I did a switch and now did publishing studies. Because back in senior high, I was doing general science. And then I switched to publishing when I got to the university.
And around that time, what did you want to become? What did you want to do after university?
The truth is, growing up, you went through all the curves. You know, at one point you think you're going to be this. At another stage, you feel like you're going to be something else. And so I think I went through a lot of that. But what made the difference was wanting to gamble. And gamble was something that I felt was close to me. So when I finished secondary school, typically I had to wait a year to apply and then go to the university. But things changed, and so now you could apply immediately after school. So which meant that I was competing for space in the university with my seniors who had finished before me.
Right.
And so I was like, let me just take this gamble. If I'm accepted, fine. If not, I wait till it's my year. So I get the forms from the university, and then going through the programs, I see publishing. I was like, this is something new. It looks like media, and I have loved media. So I was like, let me give it a try.
Try?
A try, yeah.
I mean, your parents, do they have money?
So I was like, let's give it a try. And I gave it a try, and then I was accepted, and I had to go to university almost immediately, and I did it.
Okay, was being accepted at university more exciting to you than getting a degree that will most likely give you a job?
Because back then, I probably didn't know what would work. And because I was in the science, it felt like you had to go and be a doctor or something. And that path seemed a little bit clear because you're going to go into a specific sort of industry or field, and then everything else comes into play. But venturing into publishing, I just didn't know what to expect. And in fact, the moment I stepped foot on the ground, I realized it wasn't even what I expected, because I was thinking of publishing in very general terms. But then once I got accepted and I went, I found out it was more book making. And so it was a bit not exactly what I was expecting. But I went through it, and I believe a lot of the things I learned and whatever opportunities that came my way through what I learned has helped to make me who I am today.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure one way or the other, it always has a way of contributing to where you are currently.
Yeah.
But a 20-year-old Ameyaw Debrah going to university today, if you had a 20-year-old boy going to university, what would you advise them to go and study?
Well, I would tell them to do what they feel is them. They're passionate about,
Okay.
how they want to grow and evolve, whatever part that is. But then again, you don't know. Apart from if you're in a very fixed sort of maybe course, then the path is quite clear. You know you're going to spend so many years doing architecture, and when you come out, this is it. If not for those sort of courses, the rest you really don't know. Because even if you did business, the evolution could be anyway.
Right.
If you did something else, it could be anyway. So I think by 20, people should know what they want to do. And even though I branched totally off from science, it wasn't entirely new to me, because back in the Saddle, I was part of the Writers and Debaters Club. So it wasn't entirely new that I would go into a course that was more appreciative of art, writing, and creating, because even in while I was doing my sciences, those elements were there.
Did you actually just choose the course because you wanted to graduate, or you were thinking of becoming something out of that course?
Yeah, so I think my love for media, because I've been a consumer, and it had grown to the point where I felt I could go into it and then control it the way I have, and create products that will be close to the content that I had been consuming. And so it was a bit of that. And the plan, even when I went into publishing, was that after school I would set up a publishing business with my father. But unfortunately, he died before
You could realize that dream.
yeah, we could realize that. So yeah.
I mean, what happened after? I really want to understand which point did you pivot into blogging?
So again, when I was in tech, I won the best publishing student, and it was sponsored. One of the prize sponsors for the prize was Ovation Magazine, and so they said if I wanted to do my national service, I could come and do it there. They would let me work there. So after uni, what I did was I waited for the national service postings to see where the system would put me. And then when the placement came, they put me at the National Service Secretariat in Tema or somewhere. And I was like, has nothing to do with where I want to go. And so I was like, these guys said if I want to do my national service. So I contacted them, and then we made the changes. And so I went to do my national service with Ovation. And that was pretty much where, after university, the things I learned, I would practice it and get better in it.
All of this was definitely a gamble for you.
And I think a lot of it has been, is it fate or luck or whatever? Because sometimes...
Or height.
Maybe the height too. Yes. So anytime I'm telling my story, I think luck has a part.
Because you strike me as an introvert.
Yeah, exactly.
So for you to have had this journey in journalism, influencing, blogging,
So I think it's fate.
There must have been an advantage.
Yeah,
So where is the advantage?
I can't really tell. Maybe it's a personality. I'm very calm. I'm very observant, and so sometimes when perhaps I'm doing the job, I do it a different kind of eye. And I realized that when I was sometimes you go to events, Ghana Music Awards, and some of the media people are so engrossed in other things, and things will happen that I'll pick it up and I'll create content out of it. And that's what people will now be talking about after the event because I saw it, I captured them in my own eyes, and then they became quite different from what everybody else did. So I think personality-wise also perhaps has something to play.
That path onto where you've stopped this, have you got any recollections or regrets, if you may call it?
Not so many regrets because for me, I do things with my heart and sometimes with my head, and so I hope that I do it right and take whatever comes with it, and so I have pretty much done the things that I felt were right back then, and I probably still feel right about them, and so there wouldn't be so much regret. If there were regrets, maybe it would be relationship with some people that perhaps would change, and but then again, I don't get into relationships so deep that it breaks me down and it affects whatever I'm doing. But just so that certain conversations that we may have had in the past, you probably wouldn't have had it. Just so that because you knew that after that, this is what it will lead to and things like that. But generally, not many regrets. The people I've known from when I started 20 years ago are people I still connect with. We meet, we are good and all of that. Including you.
Definitely. So I first got to know about Ameyaw Debrah through one of our friends, Vincent of Ghana Celebrities. I was then probably about 16 or 17 years old, trying to do music in the UK. And then I must have dropped you a message that I want you to blog my song for me. And which has now come out that, yes, most people know that I was a musician in my past life. And, I think you probably, in your database, you probably have a lot of information about me over the years.
The period,
Yeah. But look, I'm very careful when people gamble with their lives. What's your view on that?
Well, I am a very careful person myself, but also sometimes in life, you realize that if you don't take some chances, you'll be stuck. And so even when I'm taking or making gambles, I do it gradually. Even when it comes to investment, I do things bit by bit. If it's working, then I know it's working. Let's do more and things like that. So I am not risk averted, but I do things calculatedly. And so that's what I would suggest people should, because risk is important. Because if you don't, especially as an entrepreneur, you would never really take any opportunity to grow.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking about entrepreneurship, so when did that spark come in? Because I know you had a great, employment history as well.
Yeah. So I think a bit of the entrepreneurship thing started when, at a point, I was contributing to Ghana Web, and then I was the content editor for Ghana Web. And then when the owner came to Ghana for the first time, he said he listened to radio and so and so event, media partner, AmeyawDebrah.com. And it was like, is Ameyaw Debrah that big? Why is it his platform and not Ghana Web being the one that is having all those things? So that issue of conflict of interest started coming in. And so when he raised it, it was either he would buy me into Ghana Web, we become AmeyawDebrah.Ghana Web, and then we split revenue and things like that. But I guess that's when the entrepreneur in me, I guess, said maybe it's time to move on, because I had started something. It was getting very popular, but it wasn't making revenue enough back then.
So then what metrics did you use to make that decision?
So I think I could tell that people were moving towards you. You have emails, people making inquiries, and I had established myself to the point where a lot of people now knew the brand. So it was next for me to find ways to make money with that. And the difficulty was not just because I didn't know how to. It's just that the ecosystem was not ready like it is now. I think back then, everybody was not so sure about the space. And so when it came to push and spending the dollar, they always go to the traditional media. And it took some time for that growth to happen and people now becoming fully aware that digital online was really now the place. And so now things started changing. Businesses, brands would engage a lot more. So yeah.
Around what age? Like, how old were you at the time?
Probably 25, from 25 to 30. A lot of
So I like to
pushing.
classify most people age 25, in fact below 30, as being in survival stage of life, where they may have a job, but it's not enough. You know, they are still trying to get their head up the waters. Where were you at that point? Before you said, I want to quit this job and focus on Ameyaw Debrah?
Yeah.
Because that's a big
It's a big
decision.
So I go back to the luck thing. It was like things were arranged for me, this journey.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult for you to really have this conversation with me about luck and chance.
Well, because let's go to the timelines.
Okay.
So I started with Ovation, and just when I'm about to leave Ovation, somebody says he's starting a parenting magazine in Ghana. So puts together a meeting. I go as the one creating the content. Someone comes as the one doing marketing. Another person comes as the one doing photography. And then I go to this meeting and meet all of them. And the one doing the photography is like, oh, after meeting for the first time, like, oh, I'm working on a project and I don't even get time to do it because of my busy schedule. It was basically a project from Netherlands. What they do is they give you Nokia phones. You create news content, edit and everything on the phone. Then you upload it to the server for africannews.com. And he was like, his schedule doesn't allow now. So would I want to come and take over from him? I'm like, yes. And then he puts me in touch with the people in Netherlands. And then, so right after leaving Ovation, there's this opportunity for me to work on this project. And you do it, they bring your money from there. And then just about leaving that side to Ghana Web says they've seen the work I'm doing with them, come and do this. And then in between leaving Ghana Web, I start my own thing. And so I'm like, I see some growth, I see a potential, let me carry through with it. And then I go and do it. So there has always been a good opportunity
Right.
for me that I didn't do too much.
Right. So is it really recognizing opportunities?
I guess so.
Or being ready, being prepared?
I think it's being ready. And the luck I'm talking about is the opportunities are there. But if it doesn't come your way, if somebody doesn't show you, you may miss it. And so again, we were all going to work for somebody, and then now I meet somebody and this has happened. So the chance element is that you can't take it away. I understand you, but sometimes it happens. You need chance to happen for some opportunities to come up.
I see.
And so that's where I think a bit of that has happened. And even then, so I start doing my own thing, and then just when I registered a company, started employing people, another opportunity comes that Bringier Ghana wanted to launch Pulse. And so now I had to go and lead that project. And so some of the people I had hired, I was going to use for my own business. I took some of them there to go and start Pulse. And then just when another conflict of interest was arising from Pulse, one of their other competitors inboxes me and says, we are also coming to Ghana. We want you to come and lead. And then I register a company, Yen, and we start working. and that one. So it was like, if you look at the timelines, it's like one opportunity just
So
comes.
there's been quite a lot of opportunities that have been thrown your way.
Thrown my way, yeah.
Do you think you used those opportunities properly?
Oh, I absolutely, because once I use it, and other people who are clear competitors of these people, once they want me again, it means that I did a good job. They saw it and they want
But
us to do that.
personally, did you make the right decisions in terms of the opportunities that
I think
came your way?
so. I think so because doing everything in my own space for a very long time, you get stuck because you get used to your ways, you get comfortable, and all of that. Going out into a different setup or a different mindset opens you up to new ideas as well. And working with these European companies, for instance, Ringier, Galaxy Tech, because they come in with the knowledge of what is happening globally, because the truth is everything is coming from them. We had insight into trends that were now coming up. So Pulse, etc., the new video.
Right, it was the next thing.
It was the next thing.
I see.
And they had research, they had access to all the big companies, and they knew it. And so going there, I think personally, I also learned something from that, that when I now came back to go back to be on my own, it helped me. That's why right from there, I launched the Ameyaw TV platform as well. So I think I learned from that.
It's been one opportunity after the other. And then, okay, so deciding to branch out to do your own thing, how has that process made you, think about entrepreneurship?
I think, like what they say, it's like you're going through the fire. So now you feel it. If you are relying on somebody to pay you, now you have to earn the money, pay yourself, and pay the people who are working for you. So it's a different mentality.
How is it different, actually?
It's very different because now it feels like you are constantly thinking of ways, you're thinking out of the box to make what you're working on work, and then even thinking about evolving and looking into what next to do. So I think it's interesting being an entrepreneur in a creative space. Is even more because it's like you're using all your faculties, because creativity in this one is a different thing altogether. And when you are bringing in the business and wanting the business to work, presents in itself different sort of challenges and scenarios.
Did Ameyaw Debrah as a brand eventually become profitable enough for you to say, yes, I made a great decision?
Yes. And for me, the profitability is not in the greatest margins or whatever, but looking at what you've started, what you're able to do, and what you're looking ahead to even do. I think that's the reward that makes me feel that it's been profitable. I can do what I want to do.
Fair point. The issue I have is that a lot of the time, you have people who create content. Content in the name of either you're an influencer or you are a musician. They have the popularity, but the business sense is not switched on early enough.
So I think it depends, because for me, I never thought of myself as being popular, and the content I was doing often were about other people. I just sort of
facilitated it.
Yeah, so it was never about me. Sometimes it's my opinion about it, but it wasn't so much always I'm the superstar. That wasn't the mentality. So I guess at that early stage, it helped me to think of it as business, and then the brand coming in, how to position it. It's not because for the longest time it was a brand that was at places letting people know what was happening and things like that. And I think still a bit of that mentality exist in what I do. And so even when I'm influencing for people, I look at it from that space of creating the content where you're informing, you are. It's not just about going viral and looking like you're the ish.
Yeah. So like today, right? How does a young person go from content to actually turning it into business? Like,
Yeah.
what will be your blueprint for them? Let me stop you here for a minute. So if it's your first time watching Konnected Minds, or you have been here before but still have not subscribed, do us a favor, because majority of the people that watch our videos have not subscribed. This doesn't help us grow beyond what we expect. So help us by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you. Now let's get back to the conversation.
Well, so I think now there are a lot more opportunities. And then because there's a lot more opportunities, that's where sometimes it becomes too easy. And so people just, it happens overnight and they are not prepared to know that this is something I want to do for a long period. I must have structure, I must have some strategy to what I want to do. But my advice would be you should know what you want to do and take your time to grow that space and what you want to become. There are different platforms. So sometimes the monetization conveniently is coming from the platform because your content is engaging, is earning you money. There are also people who now have to work with brands.
Okay.
And so again, it depends on how prepared you are and how ready you are to understand working with brands and then do that engagement. So there are different facets to monetizing now as a content creator, and you must find what works for you. And for me, what works for me is the multiplicity.
Okay.
I am earning from the platforms, I'm earning from brands direct engagement, I'm earning from my website, I'm earning from different places. So at the end of the day, it comes together and it makes sense. If one place is not working so much, I can fall on the others. So even though I find myself in the media space, I sort of diversifying within the media and growing within the media, doing different things that sort of finds me audience, finds me relevance, and also finds me ways to make money.
There was a video of yourself when you were speaking about, I think you were 45 years.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was, I didn't even check the dates, but
No, I'm yet to be 45. So
right,
I'm
okay.
pushing to 45.
Yeah, so I think you were
Yes.
talking about that. And then you were speaking about some investments that you did. Konnected Minds, I always want to learn from people who are doing something incredible. So I really want to understand some of the things you were speaking about, the bad investment and things like that. What's it really?
Well, I'm hoping it's not bad investment yet, but I think
Okay.
it's just, we had a conversation in my Disado Yale group. And last year we did a project for the school, and so we put up something nice. But beyond that, we feel our next stage is about welfare for our members. Those doing well, those are not doing so well, how to bring everybody along in terms of even holding programs that will speak to people. I remember I contacted you sometime about even UMC and things like that for us. So the conversation came up where our president was like, at our age, people are either sort of established or they're still struggling to make it. But if you've established and you are trying to do something new, have new investments, and you're not careful and you do it in the wrong way, it will be difficult to sort of come up, because at your age, you're sort of a bit spent and you may not have the energy to build something so it was on the back of that. And for me, I had started a new studio. The idea is to create something that people can come and use. We can also use for our content and different things. And it's been spending, and I'm like, what if this vision I have of people coming to use a space, which is just one aspect of the studio, or even the content that we are going to create from the studio, how is it going to buzz and even earn
generate income, right?
revenue and all of that for us? What if it doesn't happen? Is it worth it? So those are some of the conversations that I've been having sort of
With yourself.
internally. And I'm like, Charlie, I hope this works, because if not, I don't have the energy to to do it. And on top of it, now it's not just me. I have people, I have family, I have workers that really it must work, and then we move to next level with. So that was.
Ameyaw, do you think that as once you hit 40, you start to do a lot of introspection and reflective analysis about your finances and your health?
Yes, you have to. You have to. Because nobody tells you. It just happens. With the health, then the triggers will come. And then with finances, once your responsibilities become clear, you are like, how do you sustain this long haul? And so I think some of them just are natural. You once you're there, the reflections will come.
But like when you are doing this, reflections and self-talk, how does it truly make you feel about some opportunities in the past and you're looking at yourself now?
One of the things I think I didn't do is to evolve and pull along a certain class of audience, which I want to call Gen Z. And I didn't do that because I felt the things they do are rubbish. I'm not interested in them, and I don't want people to be interested in that. But unfortunately, that power has become the driving force, especially for content, majority of content online. And so something I kick myself in and say, maybe I should have catered a little bit to that crowd along the way. In a way, that's how Ameyaw TV was created, so that becomes a different brand, and that does things that are a bit more general, apart from what I want my brand to be and reflect. So those are some of the things I look back and say, Charlie, maybe I shouldn't have missed it that way. That's one example, I would say. But usually the reflections are good because I feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And all things being equal, people gravitate towards it. And so sometimes you see that I vent because now it's not just the people. We're looking for audience. We create content for audiences. And for me, I feel those who know me and want my content must see my content and engage with it. And so when it doesn't happen, it frustrates me. And that's when I start blaming technology, algorithm, and all of that. And so sometimes those are some of the things you see me.
But are your frustrations because, let me use this explanation, the concept of the hand to eye, right? And the closer you are, the less you can see around you. Do you feel like, you've come from a time when you got so close to the bars of Ameyaw and that you could not see what was really driving the market or what was going to drive the market where you are in? And at some point you felt like you were playing catch up?
Probably. But I think I said a bit of that in the earlier statement. I sort of saw it, but I just didn't want to because I felt it wasn't what I wanted to do.
Is that because of close-mindedness or what could have been?
I don't know what it is, but I feel like the content you're doing, there are people who want to see it. So let them see and enjoy that content. Do you get me? But when I go on my platform, the things I see are not things I'm interested in. I didn't sign up for any of that. And if anybody who knows me, once I follow you and I see something on my timeline and I see it, I like it, I share or I retweet. And that's what I want it to be. Maybe I'm old school. The platforms don't belong to me, but I go there for something and that's what I want to consume. But it's not a world that revolves around me.
Definitely.
And so that's what has overtaken.
I've learned some lessons, and one of the lessons I've learned is any organization that does not pull the youth along.
Yeah.
It eventually becomes an obsolete organization.
Yeah.
I've seen that with churches, seen that with brands.
Even politicians.
Exactly. It happens.
Yeah.
Now, if you were really to give yourself an advice, would you have still made the decision you made?
No. I would have switched, and like I said, I would have catered more to a lot of that, and let it be. But I think the mistake of saying this is not me, let it go, it's a mistake I perhaps now regret. But we are still in there. We are going to find ways to capture a bit of that and then see. But like I said, I don't even want it to happen that should happen with my brand. I want it to happen with the Ameyaw TV, because I've sort of understood that this is the brand. I don't want to mix it up with. So I want to have two brands that work, but one moves more towards that generation.
So, how many years have you been in media?
So this is my 20th year. I mean, when I had Ovation from the work with Ovation.
20 years doing this. If you had told your father at age 17 that you wanted to go and be a blogger, what would he have thought of you?
Oh, I mean, my family people are people who are very open-minded. And so they wouldn't have, it's just that I wouldn't know what would have become of it. Because even I started calling myself blogger, after doing it for a very long time, not even knowing it was called blogging. So I remember we were invited to Highway Africa to go and speak about the project we were doing with the Netherlands people. And so at that summit, we had people in the digital space from all over coming. And then that's when the concept of blogging came in. Because groups of people came that identifying themselves as bloggers. I was like, but I'm doing a bit of that already.
So the
moment I came back, I started branding myself as such, and I think it paid off.
20 years being a blogger and an influencer. Is that a path that pays enough for young people to do it as well?
Oh, yes, I would say so. Because even for the younger people, there are even more opportunities to make money than if it's about money. But a lot of the things I do, I don't want everything to be about money, because when it becomes that, then you see people are doing it for the wrong reasons. And we cannot see it at the outlook. So I'm not big on pushing money.
I'm very big on it.
Yes.
I'm very big on it.
Because it's a bigger space of business, entrepreneurship.
And also, Senior, I have, the way you said that your parents were very open-minded, my parents were not that very open-minded, because it's like you need to become something that financially it makes sense. And if it didn't make sense, then there's no rescue mechanism. And I have seen and you have as well, no matter how it may look, I have seen the benefits when you go from not having money to having money. It's a game changer.
Yeah, but the reason why I don't want things to be money is because of how people now want to worship money. It has a problem. Because people now do anything just to catch up because they've seen somebody. And that's where the challenge comes. I mean, let people just know that what you're doing is, you don't have to push it in the face of people. It's a natural thing. But sometimes people want to...
Do you actually think that it is a natural thing that people would know that at 45 or 50, they will need more money than they ever thought at age 20?
I think that's what people like us want to share. But when we are sharing, we don't want to glorify the end point. We want to glorify the process more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do.
And you know it. That as you grow, the more money you need.
Yeah.
We live in a country where you dare not have a health emergency. Now, talk less of if you don't have money. But you are popular.
Yeah.
It becomes chaotic.
Very true.
You know, so for me, my message is simple, that today at 20, mom and dad will be taking care of you. And for that reason, you may not see the need of financial literacy. But when you hit 40, That's when you realize that at 20,
You should have.
you should have.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. And I think sometimes the educational system should also incorporate a bit of that. And even a lot of the opportunities, like what set it up for me, winning the best publishing student, then it was one lecturer who had come from Germany and wanted to push entrepreneurship as a course. And so he did so much to drive it and say, bring examples, like for instance, even bringing a print magazine to come and sponsor awards so that we feel like we can do. And then being a product and a recipient of that award and seeing what it has done for me, I think we need more of that in the institution, so that right from that early stage, we're not getting the mindset that I get the Indomie thing comes in that you must finish and look for a job from west of our government or somewhere else. So I think it's important conversations that must be had.
Yes. So this leads me on to our topic. Learn tech, start a business, migrate, or wait for a job. Where do you sit?
Learning tech in this kind of world we've got into is important. But I think you being able to turn every knowledge you've acquired, whether in whatever space, into something that is business for yourself is, for me, the ideal. But unfortunately, it's not always the case. It's not so easy all the time. And so from the options you've given, so maybe you may have to combine a few and see what works. Sometimes the right opportunity might come when you've traveled. Sometimes the right opportunity will come based on the advancement in learning you're doing, say in tech. Sometimes the opportunity isn't just the business you've created and making it grow from one stage to the other. So it's an interesting preamble. One answer may not fit and be the ultimate. And so for me, I'd say probably a combination. And in life, I think you have to give everything a try. You don't know what would work. And if as much as I've said that opportunities came and I took them, or I said a lot of it was by luck or by chance, if I had not done certain things, I wouldn't have continued to grow and evolve. And so having that thinking, mindset, whether you are going to learn that mindset or it comes naturally from life's experience, it's important that you bring everything in and then apply.
The problem I have is that the concept of simply waiting for a job, when it also means that some people would have to sit at home for 7 years. So within that 7 years,
what's happening?
Couldn't they have done something?
Exactly. Well, I think, and then again, that's why sometimes I like the times we find ourselves, because I feel opportunities have come through tech and digital means that have opened more opportunities. And when, say, Instagram started, as much as people were just doing for the fancy things, there are a lot of people who now became online shops, because you can find them only on Instagram selling oil or selling something. And that early stage of social media was a lot of that. But now, where we've gotten to, those are selling are now more the content creators. And it's like more of the, I don't know what to say, but the easy way out and not the entrepreneurially creative way out. That is a bit more louder. But when at the early stages, a lot of the guys from tech, whether they were doing art, metal works, they were killing it and being visible online. And that is where my frustration also with the platforms comes in, because a lot of those people now, they're not even being seen. It's more of the viral content, the frivolous things that we see, even if it makes money for those doing it, fine. But let those people who have also a need for different kinds of growth also grow on the platform. So I may be old school, but that's the what drives the passion that the new is good, but the old must coexist in terms of this evolution in online media.
And if that doesn't happen, then it means that is people like yourself who have been there for 20 years, you feel left out.
You feel it online and offline, because sometimes you go somewhere and people who follow you are like, I haven't seen you. Nowadays you don't post. I'm like, I post every day.
Isn't that the same thing as what they do to musicians who get 1 hit, 2 hits, 4 hits?
Yeah. That's true, because we forget quickly. But this one, it's also because of the platform, because they don't even see you making the daily post for them to even engage with it and say, oh, he's still here. Do you get me? So it's not like they've forgotten about me and say, oh, he's not doing it. The thing is, I'm doing it, but they don't see it. And that is where the worry is. And I blame it on the platform. Period. You can't take it away from them.
You blame it on a platform, but you don't blame the fact that maybe you might need to adapt the way you create your content to suit
Not
the
so
new
much.
audience, no?
Because every now and then something happens and the people find it and you realize that they still like it, but they just don't see it. Because then again, this same content is connecting with them somewhere else and they are connecting with it and it's working. So that's where my problem is. Yes, we all like to doom scroll and all of that based on fun things, but I think I like it that every time I raise these things, a lot of people agree and want it to change. But we all understand that's not where that world is going. And so we just have to find ways, because for me, a lot of it is often, it's not about me being seen, but if I'm working with brands, I want to give them a certain level of eyeballs.
Right.
And so when it's not happening, then I'm like, I'm not doing the job I signed up to do. And so that's where usually the worry is. But because I try to put things across different platforms, so when it's not happening on Instagram, Facebook is happening, Twitter may be happening, TikTok, I'm now trying to get a hang of TikTok. It may be happening there. So
it's so interesting.
It's interesting because our TikTok, I ruled it out completely. I'm like, I'm not for this.
It's so interesting you're saying that. I'm gonna get a hang of TikTok. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. I for me, the things that were coming from TikTok was something that I shut out. I said no, I don't want this.
Konnected Minds became very popular because of TikTok.
Yeah. So it was not until I started being there and I realized that it's a big mix of things. And a lot of people are even now making their sales or whatever there. Like I said earlier, a lot of the early people were using Instagram to showcase and like an online shop. But now, convenient and naturally, it's moving to TikTok. So I'm finding myself on that platform. Again, I'm not there to do what everybody is doing. I want to do what I'm doing so that people understand the tone and the voice and then move with it. So yeah, I'm a bit of old school.
Yeah. This next part of the conversation is going to be raw gold. Especially if you're open-minded about it and give us the value we're expecting. But before we get into it, on the 9th of September, Kumasi Konnected Minds Live. Last year we did it in Accra at the British Council. But this year, it's Osei all the way. At the Great Hall, KNUST. You need a seat to be able to show up. We're also calling for vendors. So the details are in the description and in the comments. Click on it and get in touch with the team. Now let's carry on with the conversation with Ameyaw Debrah. When you have done something for 20 years and you are getting into age 45, there's usually one question I usually ask myself when I'm working. Pension. What is the plan for such an industry that you are in?
Yeah. I'll probably say I don't have a clear set plan, but that's where I'm hoping that over the years, evolving to have businesses that have different sort of feel and look would help. Because when I'm not working, I hope that, for instance, the studio is going to work. The people, I have a team that is running everything when perhaps I cannot go. That's why I want to establish products or things that can grow, outlive me in a way. But in terms of funding, pension, I think those normal contributions, which really don't amount to much when you are claiming them, but I want it to be a combination of all of that set up so that the business I'm doing is able to run when I cannot run it as well.
I did a post some time back on my Facebook, and then I asked this question. People in the diaspora, how much are people paid for state pension a month? And the answers were 800, 600, 1,000.
It's never enough.
That's not enough. Again, these are the reasons why I am so crazy about teaching people about money.
Yeah.
Because our good days are very short. You know, do content creators pay it into their own accounts?
Yeah, well, I do. And I do for the people that work with me.
And you think it is important that creators do that?
For me, I think I started doing it not because immediately it was important. I saw the importance, but I saw it more in terms of the statutory requirement.
You are such an honest man.
I am.
That is a true statement.
Yes. So that was the initial thing that got me to say, let's do it.
So like me, right? When I'm having my shower, and today I was thinking about it, I was crazy. Because yesterday I think I bathed like 3 times. And then, because, I was doing exercise and then I went to see sites and stuff. And then I was just telling myself today when I was on my side, maybe I need to shower like 5 times a day. Because anytime I'm in the shower, I can think. So these are some of the things I think about. That, say all of a sudden, I can't work anymore. Okay, there are insurances, there are things we can put in place, but these are the honest conversations that creators
need to have.
And hopefully there's somebody watching us and this is going to make them start thinking.
But I think also sometimes the other options, say maybe investment and all of those things, don't really come to our minds.
Why?
I don't know why. But I feel sometimes you have to have a certain mindset to want to go that path. And we don't get it early. And so the fundamentals are perhaps missing. But like I said, if at a very early stage, all of these things are taught, then it becomes a part of us. I think this week I was talking on something about crypto, and whenever I hear those things, I'm like, it seems far off. It feels like it's a different set of group of people who are and that's it's not for everyone. But I don't know. Personally, that's me.
Yeah.
When it comes to investment, trading, and all of this, it looks like I have to have a certain thinking, mindset to understand and do it well. And then sometimes I feel like I'm not ready.
I see.
But you were ready at what point?
The times when I used to speak with you,
Mm-hmm.
the whole music times, I was doing a lot of side hustles.
Mm-hmm.
I used to order things from China. I was about 17 years when I was doing that to sell to my mates. Our first music video for Vibe Squad, I think I was about 17 and a half or 18. I paid for another member because he was working for one of my websites and he was a legal person for the site. I've always thought about money as the more you have, the easier your life become. And the money must grow with my age. You see what I'm trying? That's how I've always thought about it. So, and my reading as well. I read some really incredible books, some books that I don't really talk about because they enlighten me. And the people I spend time with, I have a senior man in Ghana here, General Bedema, and he lives somewhere in Villaggio. When I hit 30, I started spending a lot of time with him. And some of the things he will say, and when I go to see him, even the chair he sits on, he used to sit on when he was my age. Now at 70, the chair he's sitting on is different. Because he would tell me, well, as you grow, the height's different. You don't want to bend down too much. Now imagine I'm 70 and I don't have money to even upgrade my chair. So I start thinking about these things. Sure. And he says that, as you grow, that's the time you need to even eat better. If you don't have the money, how do you eat better?
Sure.
So I think a lot about these stuff. And so it's become almost like second nature, to me. But let me bust your brain with this one. There was a content creator I spoke with. He used to make, in the beginning of the whole YouTube, he used to make about $40,000 a month. Today, he has nothing. $40,000 a month. And that dude probably made it consistently for about 8 months. Because you know what the concept is, senior. Next month is going to come.
Yeah.
So it becomes the same mentality of paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Even
though you're doing your own thing, you're still relying on
it's gonna come. So the platforms are paying people, but that payment is becoming a paycheck payment. It's not being translated into entrepreneurship properly. Which is what, I think a lot of young people need to understand. It's a real serious conversation. Because I bet you anything. Otherwise, we might see the same thing that's happening in the music industry, in the content industry.
Yeah. Especially when a lot of it is driven by trends. When the trends fall out, then what? Right.
Yesterday, when the crazy things were happening, guess what happened? What Maya called me. He called me and said, they said Indomie. Charlie, let's start an Indomie joint.
That's it.
Yeah, and I said, look, if you know someone, call them. If they can run it, let's put it together. So these are some of the things.
Every time.
Yeah, and then jump on it. Sure. But I must say this, I appreciate you. I've got a lot of respect for you. So thank you so much for coming. I was hoping this conversation would happen long time ago, when my studio was at the other place.
I mean, we tried to make it happen, right?
Yes,
I think we just didn't have
we did.
But I came to enjoy the
new studio.
The new-ish. Really lovely place.
Thank you. So what's the best advice you have ever received?
Best advice? Unfortunately, not like you that you've worked with a lot of people. I am very sort of closeted. I am very antisocial, and I hardly really engage with people. And I don't tend to have a lot of conversations and get the opportunity to have advice. Strangely, everything I have done has been just doing my thing. And I guess that's why I keep saying I bring up the luck component.
And I just wrote it down, luck and chance. You are the reason I've started believing in it now.
Because yes, it's very true. In terms of platform to platform, I hardly will even look at a similar platform to mine and say, I want to do this.
I see.
I just pretty much, it comes to mind, you get lucky, it becomes
lucky again, man.
the lucky guy. Yeah. So yeah, but I think general advice in life that perhaps is you should, when an opportunity comes your way, you should grab it and grab it, explore it, make it work for you. It might even be a case for for somebody to be the next to enjoy such another opportunity because they saw you do it well, and they think somebody else can do it. So for me, it's any opportunity that comes, and that's what I do because I've never had a marketing arm to my business. I sit there, I get emails, I get calls. This is what we want you to do. Can you do it? So I feel luck.
luck and chance, yo. Luck and chance. If you don't have it, look for it. I don't know how he did it, but I think it came with his height.
Small height advantage.
But also something else, and maybe I should tell you this, something else I learned from General. He says, as you age, if your mind is not being challenged all the time, then you lose your cognitive performance. So the way he does it is memory. Or sometimes I'll be talking to him and he will go way back into 19 something and he said I was with. Then he will click back Kwame Yevua Bonsu at 37 military names.
So always looking sharp.
Yeah. And he reads a lot.
That's why I've always feared people. Anytime I was going to go into a contest, I feared if my opponent was somebody who reads a lot, I'm shaking because I can't read.
I see.
And I mean, and it's true. There's a lot of wisdom you gain through that, and even just keeping the brain energized.
You know what I'm trying to figure out? I think that may be one of the reasons why you are so boxed into the way you expect social media to be, how things to work. That could be a reason why. Because what books have done for me is it shows me another perspective, opens it up to me, and then I engage, and then the next book, and then the next book. Yeah.
Probably that's it.
I've enjoyed this interview more than you have, but thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
And I'm going to put all the details of Ameyaw Debrah, the legend himself, so you can check out his page. Actually, if he's on this one, we could do a collab on YouTube as well. But anyway, take care of yourself. My name is Derrick Abaite. Stay connected.